hairdresser and co-founder of the hair braid community. We're coming to you live from West Hollywood. We're at Andy LeCompte Salon with Bianca Hillier. I say that right?
Yes.
All right. Bianca is an amazing colorist. She works with Olaplex. She travels the world. We're going to talk about some of that. I was looking on your Instagram last night. I love the fact that you're traveling all over. This is her beautiful model. What's your name? Desiree. Desiree is also a hairdresser, which is awesome. So we're keeping it all in the family. And you're going to be doing some painting, some balayage, creating that beautiful sun-kissed look.
Yeah.
All right, so tell us what you're going to do. I'm going to jump behind the camera, guys, so I can get in close and we can see what Bianca's doing. If you have any questions, be sure to type them in so that I can share them with Bianca.
You guys, today I'm doing a Sunkissed Balayage touch-up. So we're just going to really be touching up the root of the highlight and not so much pulling through because they feel like she's already extremely blonde. And for those of you who didn't see the hair down, we'll have a before photo on my story. You can send it to Hair Braid. And we'll be posting that and we'll tag her so you guys can see her and stuff. But what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be kind of just attaching at the root and bringing these highlights a little bit higher. Just tracing over the same placement. We're not going to be adding any extra in. We want the same type of grow out. We want the same look. We just want to refresh it. So I'm going to go in with Redken Flash Lift, and I'm using 25 volume, and I have a splash of Olaplex, 1/16 ounce in all my mixtures. I only mix up a tiny little bit, about, what is this, 15 grams? 15 grams. And then I'm constantly stirring and we're putting it on the lip so I can grab it. So you guys will see as I move through the head what I'm talking about.
All right, guys at home, we're sorry if it's loud, but we're in a live salon, guys. So we'll do our best to make sure you can hear Bianca. But as you can see, we're in an active, busy, beautiful salon right here in Beverly Hills. So we can learn with our eyes, and be sure to ask questions, and I'll make sure to ask Bianca. Bianca's going to try to talk as loud as she can. Right, Bianca?
Yeah.
All right.
Alright, you guys, if you have any questions, go ahead and start asking away. This is Desiree. She is a stylist. She's who cuts my hair.
Hi, Desiree.
And, I always make sure that my clients cut their hair prior to... Are we going to the scalp on your hairline? Up to the scalp. Not touching the skin, guys. We're going high up. So I always have my clients cut their hair prior to a highlight because I don't want it to be cut after and then have there be dark holes and spots and those tips that I want to be so bright and vivid. You know, if you get a half-inch haircut, it's gonna cut a hole into the pattern that I was painting. So I want to be sure that that doesn't happen. So Desiree cut her hair this morning, and here we are, you guys. I'm just tracing over this pattern, attaching at the root. Nothing crazy. I'm using a frame bar brush, and I grabbed the tiniest bit, just a little bit.
Lorelei Fisher is wondering about what lightener you're using. What's your bowl? What's in your bowl?
You guys, I have Redken Flash Lift, and I mix it 1 to 2, and on her, I'm starting with 25 volume. As I move up the head, I'll have something a little bit stronger, So
Redken Flash Lift, and you're using Olaplex as well?
Yes, 1/16 ounce of Olaplex in all my bleach mixtures, and we just have about 15 grams in the bowl, so that I'm not wasting products, so that I'm not over mixing, so that I have enough just for this sector. And then you guys will see as I move up the head, we have a new mixture that'll be a little bit stronger, and so on and so forth.
So you're starting the painting kind of around the perimeter?
I'm doing around the perimeter. I'm just going to be, I start at the nape so that if we need to rinse it off, we can move our head back into the bowl, rinse it off quickly, we can do it by hand. But I always want to start, neck up.
Is that all that you need there? It's just right behind the ears, or will you go through the whole panel?
So I'm gonna go through the whole section up here, ear to ear, and you guys will see as I get to that placement. But I am starting with the hairline so that I don't over-highlight the hairline after, or I don't have all these wet highlights falling onto the hairline, and then it's too hard to paint the hairline.
So obviously Desiree's had some color before. Are you looking at what was there and trying to match to that? Is there a certain pattern?
Exactly. I'm tracing over the same pattern. I was explaining earlier, you guys, that I want it to just be a refresher. We're not adding in extra highlights to make her extra blonde. By refreshing and tracing over the same placement, we're gonna get her blonder already.
Now you were saying you put a very, very little amount on the brush. Can you show us exactly when you go in the bowl, You don't even go in the bowl, you put it on the edge.
Yes, I just get the tiniest bit, you guys.
Yeah, working neat with something like this, super important, yeah?
Yes, I agree. I think that it's really important to be neat and tidy and to constantly have a clean tray, a clean brush. If you want these precision lines and these precision baby lights by balayaging, you're gonna need to keep everything nice and tidy.
Yeah, I would say, in my experience, the best colorists, besides being creative and visionary, they're a little bit OCD about being clean.
I know,
because
my assistants probably want to kill me.
Yeah, if you get messy, then, you get color where you don't want it. That's kind of a problem.
Totally. And like you're saying, I have a little bit of OCD and I'm very particular with where and what I'm doing. But all for reasons, I want it to flow, I want it to be fluid, and I don't want it to be messy so that I can constantly upkeep what is going on. If you get messy, then it's going to be harder to trace where these highlights fall the next time around.
So it looks like this piece you're painting, all of them were painted from the underneath.
Yes, because when her hair is up in a ponytail, that's going to be what you see. As you can see these old highlights already. You're not looking at here when the hair's up in a ponytail.
So all around the perimeter you paint from the underneath?
Yes.
And you took a diagonal section on each side and then a horizontal section?
Kind of following the hairline.
Great.
And then I'm going to put cotton on top, even though you can't really see the bleach up here. Who knows, if she moves around, it might bleed through. So I'm going to have this just guarding. And now...
So you choose to work with cotton rather than any type of plastic or foil to separate?
Plastic and foil conduct heat, and that instigates the chemicals to act faster. I don't necessarily need that like turbo boost, so I'm using cotton as a barrier to allow the chemicals to work as needed as I formulate, but also to create a barrier from the new layer that's laying down, so to prevent bleeding as well.
All right, Bianca, you got a great group of students watching, lots of love coming in. We've got a question from Marinella Lazar. She's wondering how many hours does a process like this take, for the customer, the whole time, the whole appointment?
So for me to paint on her, it takes me about, something like this would take me about 30 minutes. For her to be finished and leave me after she's toning and all that, probably, I would say 2.5 hours or so. Nothing.
So it's about a 2.5 hour appointment for this?
Yes.
Awesome. I'm going to give some shout outs to some of our friends watching.
Hi guys. Who's
Let's see.
here? Where are you guys from?
Our good friend Kate Daffin is watching. Jill Togar is watching. Sherilyn Alden's watching. We've got Wasim. Wasim says we're doing amazing things. Thank you, Wasim. Just trying to share education.
Yeah.
Yep. Little love coming in from Robin Bickner. Says she will definitely try this on the hairline. Lovely technique.
Yeah, you guys, it's really easy once you get your consistency down. Just practice, and it makes it so beautiful and so sheer and easy.
I think you've got a friend here, or maybe a student. Christine Holt says nobody keeps their brushes as clean as Bianca.
Oh, thanks, guys. Where is everybody from? Where is everybody watching from? Where are you tuning in?
Yeah, guys, we are in West Hollywood in Los Angeles today at the Andy LeCompte Salon, where Bianca works on her clients when she's not globe-trotting.
Yeah.
Where are you guys watching from? We always like to hear what part of the world you're in.
I know, you guys. What do you guys want to see me do next on a live?
We've got Malu watching from London.
London. I want to teach a class out there.
Absolutely. Great place for hairdressing.
Yes.
We've got Marianella watching from Romania.
Romania. I've never been.
Scotland in the house. Kelly Mann. Chicago.
Nice.
All right, so we've just painted through this zone here. It looks like that was a real gentle kind of painting, just on the top surface.
Nothing crazy. You don't want to push through. You want to ensure that you're not pushing through to create streaks. Once again, a foil and a saran wrap or a plastic wrap will conduct heat, and those are going to create more streaks. This is going to be a little more sheer and ribbony, and this is going to act as more like rock and roll, more surfer. She lives part-time in Bali. So this is going to be something more suitable for her. I don't want it to look like tinsel. I don't want it to eat through the hair. I want it to sit sheerly on top of the hair.
So would you say the section now is just like a horizontal kind of horseshoe around the head?
Yes,
Yeah.
and you can see I'm like going through and I'm finding these highlights, and I'm making sure that these partings are basically on the same spots as they were head up.
And how thick is the panel or the section?
It depends on the density of the hair, but for Desiree here, I'll show you in just a second. actually get this section out. But it's about, I don't know, I'd say an inch and a half. Let me show you what's in this.
So we can see the previous color here. It's probably about 4 or 5 months grown out. And this is a Sunkissed Balayage retouch.
Yeah, you guys, you know, we're just upkeeping the look. Okay, that looks about good. Let me do this. And then I'll show you guys how thick this section actually is once we get in there.
So right below the round of the head, kind of a downward horseshoe all the way around.
Yes, you guys, and you can see those highlights, you know, bam, bam. So this highlight, guys, this is about this thick. And the thickness is always going to vary depending on your client's density of hair, the haircut. So a lot of people ask me, well, how thick is your sectioning? I mean, I can give you an estimate, but also it really depends on the haircut and the hair texture and how the hair falls. So it's hard to kind of just tell you, oh, I would do it this thick or that thick, because it really is, you know, a variable.
Well, that's what great hairdressing is all about, customizing it to each particular guest or client. Just remind us what you're using formula-wise. Lots of people are joining and wondering what's in your bowl.
So I'm using I started with 25 volume, and now I'm using about half 25, half 30 volume on this section. And then when I get to the very, very top last section, I'll be with 30 volume only.
So you're starting with lower developer and then just kind of pushing it a bit higher as you work up the head?
I'm starting with the lower developer because, you know, that's going to be sitting on longer. So you're going to get more of that lift. So I don't want to blast it and have these bottom highlights be platinum white, because that's not the look we're going for.
So it's all about timing, and then that allows you to kind of rinse all at the same time rather than in segments?
You know, it's a formula, it's a recipe, so it has to process a certain amount of time. You have to keep in mind how long the top's going to be processing, how long the bottom's going to be processing, and all of that is going to really determine the formulation.
So if you're just joining us, you've got Gerard Scarpesi here behind the camera today, and I'm still looking for your questions and sharing your love. So
yeah, do you guys have questions? Anybody have questions?
Yeah.
Go ahead and ask away.
They're all busy letting us know where they're watching from. We've got the Ukraine, New Jersey, Birmingham, UK. We've got Sophia in Pennsylvania. We've got Salman in India. We've got people all over the world. We are here with Bianca Hillier, who is an Olaplex ambassador. Is that the right term?
Yes, I am an Olaplex ambassador.
And
I'm part of the Redken R team, the social media team. Who else do I work with? I work with Framer, I work with Nutrafol.
You're a busy hairdresser.
Yes, you guys.
How'd you get your start?
How did I get my start? I think Olaplex is kind of what kick-jumped my start, because when they first came out, I started working with them. I started tagging them in my photos, and then they started commenting on them, and then the owner, Dean, started commenting, and he got in contact with me, and he really liked my work, and he asked me if I wanted to work more closely with them, and so then I launched the product in Dubai, and that's how I started working out in the Middle East. And so I'll be going to the Middle East with both of my assistants next month, right? And we'll be there for a couple weeks.
Yeah, let's talk about that. I looked on your Instagram and I saw that you're going to Saudi Arabia and Bahrain. Is that something you do?
First time in Saudi, but we've been going to Bahrain for years now. And we're just seeing clients as we do here. And
how do you arrange something like that? If somebody is wants to be a globe-trotting hairdresser, how do they get that?
Tell them to send me a message. But, you know, it really depends. I'm lucky the salons came and kind of contacted me. Desiree actually was working in the salon with Jen Atkin at the time, and was in Dubai and kind of linked me up with that salon. And it all kind of was through word of mouth and through my Instagram.
So we've got a couple questions. So first off, Amy Allen is wondering about the ends of the hair. Will you do anything? So as we said, Desiree's got previously colored hair. We can see the ends here. And Bianca's doing a retouch or a touch-up on her balayage.
Yes, you guys, I'm doing a balayage refresher. You know, we don't want to over-highlight her. And just because she needs highlights doesn't mean she needs highlights all the way through the tip. So what I'm doing today is I'm attaching the root, because it's been, you know, a few months since I've seen her last, and I know she's going to be in Bali. And it doesn't really look like she needs to get it done, but I know I'm not going to see her for a while. So I'm just upkeeping the root, and I'm maintaining the same look that she has, but I'm refreshing what we have going on, or what she has going on.
Marianella is wondering about the processing time. How do you judge the processing time? Is it a set time or do you do it by eye?
I check every 5 minutes or so. We'll post on my story because that gets boring and it's loud heating it up. So we'll post on my story and we'll show you guys. But I do it by hand with the diffuser on a blow dryer, and we heat up the highlights and kind of customize where needs more lift, where doesn't, whatever.
So you do like to process with a little bit of heat?
Definitely, you know. Who wants to sit here for hours and hours and hours? I don't.
Right. And do you use kind of lamps or do you like airflow heat?
We'll do it with a diffuser and a blow dryer.
With a diffuser?
Yes. So that's the only way I really do it. So we customize it according to where the hair actually needs it, opposed to putting her under a lamp and having it all heat up.
So again, visually, you're taking a section now, and you're looking, like you can see where the color is previously.
Exactly, and I'm just attaching.
And you're not trying to add more than she had previously, you're just trying to kind of work with it?
Yeah, I want to work with it, you guys. Sometimes adding more is going to over-highlight her, and then her grow-out isn't going to be as rock and roll, as beachy as what she likes, or what I want to see.
Would you say the impression is Desiree's more of a brunette with sun-kissed? You're not making her blonde.
Exactly.
Right.
She has blonde highlights, but she is a brunette.
Yeah, I think that's an important distinction for people to,
I agree.
It could be as simple as asking your client, do you want people to see you as brown or a blonette, a brunette with some sun-kissed highlights?
Totally. And then also, you have to also discuss how much upkeep they're willing to commit to, how much upkeep they want to commit to,
right,
and all that kind of stuff. So that will also determine the placement and the amount of highlights and the blondness that they could have.
Marianella is wondering if you think this will need toning.
Yes, I always tone everybody.
Always.
I think it's necessary. The hair doesn't look exactly how you need it to be. There's always discrepancies, period. I don't care who you are. So I tone everybody, and so for Desiree, she likes something very warm. We're going to do something very similar to what we did last time. We did, off the top of my head, I think it's like 9AA, 9GB, or something like that.
And is that also with Redken?
That's Redken Shades EQ, yes.
And Redken, is that the color line you tend to use the most?
For toning, yes.
Yeah. And what are you using for lightener today?
For lightener, I'm using Redken Flash Lift. I'm using it 1 to 2. I started with 25 volume, and I'm going to finish with 30 volume at the top of the head so that we get something stronger at the top because it's sitting on less time. And the bottom isn't quite as strong because we don't need to blast those bottom hairs, and also they're sitting on longer.
Would you ever go all the way up to 40 volume, or do you always keep it below 40?
I don't usually go to 40, but there's time, there's a time and a place for everything, right?
And when it comes to developers, do you ever mix two together? That's always a big question. Do you ever?
So I'm using 20. I started with 25, so a lot of color lines don't have 25. So in order to get that, you do have 20, have 30, and then so on and so forth.
Our buddy Michael Snyder is watching. He's always saying what's up. Dan Funk is watching. Another old friend there. How you doing, Dan? We've got Junior tuning in from Hawaii.
I was just in Maui, guys.
Right
I taught a class in Maui.
So you
100-person hands-on class.
Wow, 100 people. That's amazing. How did it go?
It went really well, actually. That was my first class that big.
Awesome. So now basically walk me through what's happening in your mind right now. You're just starting to paint and explain everything.
Old highlights, getting the tiniest bit, finding the old highlights, going ahead and tracing over it and bringing it a little bit higher onto the root towards the scalp, not touching the skin because I don't want that. And I'm just making sure that it's wet enough that it can get light. I'm not pushing through the hair strands. I'm laying it on top because this is balayage. I'm not trying to get it really streaky. I just want it to be a sheer, beautiful, rhythmy highlight.
Ladomi is wondering if you add Olaplex into your toner.
I do. I also, and we'll put it on my story, you guys, but I do Olaplex water on everybody. So I even do a treatment before I tone with the Olaplex.
So after you rinse out these...
So we'll rinse out the highlights, we'll shampoo, we'll towel dry, and then we'll do Olaplex number 1 in a bowl of water. The stronger you need the treatment for the more damaged hair, the more Olaplex 1 you add to the water. The least, the less damaged the hair is, the less number 1 you're going to need in that water. And then you dump it all over the head, kind of like you're baptizing them or something. And then you tone right on top of that.
So has using Olaplex made a huge difference for you in what you can do to people's hair?
It's crazy. I don't know why people don't use Olaplex. products. It's really
Well, I don't think there are too many people that don't.
This is true, not anymore, right? Yeah. Head up for me.
We've worked very closely with Chad Kenyon over the years, another Olaplex ambassador, and he
Yes.
says it's completely transformed what he can do for his clients.
It really allows you to push the limits without sacrificing the integrity of the hair.
Rachel Cook is wondering about your tint brush. Is that a special kind of brush you need for this
This is a
technique?
Framer brush, and they have AccuSoft bristles, which
We sell
really
those
allow
at
me to
hairbrain.pro, so if anybody wants to
Awesome.
check out our offerings from Framar, we have a lot. We have their balayage board, we have most of the brushes.
Balayage board I'm using
Yeah,
as
go to
well.
hairbrain.pro, and they're really reasonably priced.
Yes. You guys, we can do a little swipe up on the story, so you guys can link to that. You guys can check out the story for the before photo for those of you who are just tuning in and didn't get to see Desiree at the very start. Desiree, if the lighting's a little weird or something, Desiree's a level, I'd say she's a level 6. And we're highlighting her about
Looks like
a
you
level.
can tell pretty well on camera.
Okay, good,
Maybe it's a
good.
little bit, looks a little warmer.
Okay.
It's a little hard to tell tone, but it looks like a level 6 for sure.
I don't know.
Ladia is wondering if you rinse out the Olaplex before the toner.
Rinse out.
You said you do like
Oh,
a
the
you do a
Ola water.
treatment, an Ola
No,
water?
you tone right on top of that.
So you use the Ola water and you leave it in, and then you've got
Yes.
more Olaplex in the toner.
Yes. You guys, so you're like doubling up, you know?
Great question, guys. Let us know your questions here for Bianca. We'd love to get as much of her knowledge out to you as possible. If you're just joining us, we're here in West LA, Beverly Hills area, at the Andy LeCompte Salon. I'm just going to do a quick little, you can see that's the reason why we're a little noisy today. We're in the back corner here, but we're coming live. I think Bianca's got a full day of clients today, but she's gracious enough to get us started here with her first and to share her technique.
Yes, you guys. For those of you who are wanting more education, I allow people to come and shadow me if that's something you guys want to come and like learn a day in the life in the salon for your birthday. You guys can send me an email. I got my button on my profile. If you guys want me to teach a class in your area, send me a message, let me know.
So where did you get your start? Are you from here in Los Angeles
I'm
or
born and raised
transplant?
in LA, you guys. I started at Sally Hirschberger when I was 18. And then I was there for 7 years. I assisted for 2, and then I came here. Desiree is actually the reason why I'm here.
Say hi, Desiree.
You guys got to check out Desiree's page. She's an amazing stylist. We'll tag her in my stories so you guys can see. But you guys will love her work. It's very beachy, very natural, beautiful. She's giving way.
Hi.
Hi. Chin up.
And now tell us again about cotton over plastic or foil. I know you talked about it a little bit, but we've got tons of new people joining.
Right, guys. So I'm using Cellu Cotton 44045 from Salon Centric, and I like this one because there's no string in it. It's not as fuzzy as some of the other ones, and I'm using cotton as a barrier. So when I lay this neck section down, like the chemicals are wet, right? So however the chemicals touch, the color is gonna lighten. So I don't want to have a bunch of cheetah spots when I lay this down, so the cotton is acting as a barrier, but the cotton is not conducting heat like a foil or like a saran wrap or a plastic would. So it's allowing the formulation to act at its own pace, opposed to moving at a turbo speed or getting like a jump start from the heat. I will heat this up after, but I don't necessarily need it to be moving and moving and moving all the way along. Because if I had saran wrap at that make right now, those baby lights at the bottom left line would probably be platinum like her, and that's not.
They'd be smoking right now.
Yeah, steaming.
So Fabiana Cano is wondering, she's got an Olaplex question. After you rinse the Olaplex number 1 in toner, do you then finish with the number 2 and shampoo and condition?
After you rinse the Olaplex one in toner, yes, I will do. I'll rinse it out. I'll do Olaplex number 2, and then after that sits on for the given time, we'll do a light shampoo and a conditioner.
Awesome, thank you. And then Alicia is wondering, does the cotton not absorb the bleach?
Not really, no. I don't have any issues. I don't run into any issues with it, absorbing the bleach and it not lightening the hair.
Is it a clay bleach?
I'm not using a clay bleach. I'm using an open air, just a regular bleach, a powder bleach.
Is there a reason? Do you?
I'm allergic to bleach.
Okay.
So this is the one that I can use.
And it's all probably also why you're so neat, because it seems like none of it gets on you or anywhere else.
Try my hardest.
Well, that had to be tough to be a colorist and then discover you're allergic to bleach.
Yes, it happened years in from overexposure, but I'm working on it.
Awesome.
I got my inhaler, I got my supplements. Right, you guys, moving to the other side.
So that is that the final panel on this
I
side?
did a final panel on this side, and now I'm getting to this side.
So essentially that was, including the nape, 4 or 5 panels?
Yeah, about, I would say.
Yeah. Sorry guys, those of you having trouble hearing, we're in a busy salon here in Beverly Hills. Bianca was gracious enough to just kind of take us in right before she starts her day. It's okay, yeah, but you guys can watch and you can ask questions and we'll be sure to answer them. Great lesson, lots of love coming in. Normally, you know, we film in the studio, but sometimes we go on location. So we're in a real busy salon, everybody's moving around, moving and grooving. And here we go.
Up to you.
Painting our final section.
Do you not anything super heavy, but if you feel like it needs like a little here and there.
Our good friend Nanette is wondering, is there going to be a money piece?
Yes, of course. I do it last, you guys. You know, you don't want it to break. You don't want it to be white. You don't want to damage that hair, especially.
So maybe for people who aren't familiar with that term, what do you consider a money piece?
The money piece, as you can see, there's this hair sectioned out in the front here by the face. So the face framing highlight is the money piece, because that's what they're paying the money for.
Because that's what they see.
Yes, exactly. I see that every day. That's what they think they're paying for. That's also why I do the neckline, because that's part of the money piece. When her hair is falling forward, you can probably see on mine right now, the bottom nape, that's part of the money piece. All this hair as well, you know?
Right, because it falls in front of the shoulder.
Yes.
Let's get, before you paint, can we see how much is on the brush? Lara Clark. You know, we'll follow you all the way here. So I see you put it on the lip. You don't dip into the actual bleach. You put it on the lip of the bowl.
I don't dip in. Keep my brush nice and clean.
Okay.
Some double action going here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Head up. And so now, I'm just kind of tracing over the highlight. Lightly, not pushing through the hair, laying on top of the hair.
So just, and it's really important for you to work with natural fall. I see you don't really disturb the hair.
Yeah, I'm like kind of tugging and letting it go where it wants to go. With the balayage, you don't want to fight any cowlicks or any placement of where the hair wants to be. It's something natural, you know? You don't want to force anything. Should we do a filter or no? I don't think she needs it. I don't think she needs it. I think next time we'll do a filter.
And how about your pressure when you're applying that?
Yes,
Seems very gentle.
Can you feel it all? Yeah, I don't think I'm pushing hard. I'm kind of laying it, kind of how you would do maybe like peanut butter on bread or something. I'm just kind of rubbing. I'm not pushing. Last one up here, you guys.
Okay, so we're getting to our last piece, guys. So if you have any final questions before we go to processing, Bianca will answer those, and then the processing and the finale she'll show you in her stories, and we'll share that here in the feed.
Totally, you guys. This is the last one up here, and then we'll work into the money piece, the face frame.
And again, you said you leave that to the end because that's you don't want to over-process
Those hairs are the
it.
most fragile. They're the finest hairs on the head. They lift the fastest, they darken the fastest. When you tone it, I leave them out. But basically, I don't want to ruin that hair, you know, that's exactly what they see. And you don't need it to be blasted. So I'm not going to let that bleach sit on the whole time I'm working my way up.
Tracy Koulas wants to thank you for sharing your wisdom. That's nice. We always appreciate those who appreciate what's happening here.
Yes, I know, you guys are the ones that keep us going.
So tell us, as you finish up, a little bit about if those who wanted to be educated by you, how would they find you, and what kind of classes do you offer?
When you look and learn demos, head up, more. I offer hands-on, look and learn. It really depends on what it is that you're needing. I also allow people to come and shadow me for the day, and it's like a day in the life. inch and upwards.
A few people were wondering about how linear you paint, basically that it's kind of painted in lines. Can you give us some more insight into that?
What? I'm not sure what you mean by that.
So the question is, why are you doing lines?
Opposed to what else?
I'm not sure. I think sometimes people paint like in V shapes when they kind of,
Oh,
yeah.
well, so this would be a V, except that I'm not going into these tips, so you guys can't see the rest. But if you watch my last live with you guys, with Hairbrain, I did a V.
So it's just the beginning of the V, but since the ends are already colored, you don't need to go into those.
Yes.
Yeah, so you're trying to not overpaint the hair that's already been lifted.
Yes, exactly. You guys, I'm not trying to overlap too much because she really doesn't need that.
Makes sense. So if you were going to the ends, those two lines would make into a V shape, or three of them would make like a W shape.
Exactly.
Great. So it's really a touch-up.
Yes, so this is just like we said, it's just like a sun-kissed refresher, you know, a balayage refresher. We're not creating a whole pattern, we're just really maintaining. And I think a lot of the people with balayage tend to over highlight, and then it doesn't give that natural look anymore. It looks like she needs to maintain her hair.
Back to what we were talking about originally, Desiree is a brunette that has some sun-kissed pieces, so you don't want to turn her into a blonde.
Yes, exactly. You know, for somebody like her, she doesn't want to feel that platinum vibe.
We've had quite a few questions from people wondering about, how they should charge for something like this. Now, I know you're here in the heart of LA, probably one of the most expensive places for hair. But, people all over the country, how should they try to figure out? Do they do it by how much time they spent, how much product they use?
I think, location is a huge thing, but I think you need to factor in the cost, whether it's your assistants that you're paying to help you, whether it's the product that you're using, all of that, but also the time in your day and how much money that you could get if you were doing a different service. You should figure out, kind of what you want your day rates to end up looking like, and base how many services you can do in a day kind of off that. So say if you want your day rate to be, $1,000, and then you can only get in 4 people, you need to factor in the amount of what's going to get you to 1,000.
So, start with the end in mind. How much money do you want to make?
Yes.
And then go from there and try to find people.
Totally.
Yeah.
Your experience, location, your
And then be
cost.
realistic. If you want to make $1,000 a day, do you want to do 10 clients for $100, or do you want to do 4 for $250? And then market yourself to that audience.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I agree.
All right, we're going to get in close here. We're working on the money.
You guys. Yes, this is the money. Right, you guys, I'm going, as close as I can without touching the skin. I'm keeping these highlights really tiny, really skinny. What do we call them? Baby lights. Just tiny little baby lights.
So essentially that just means it's even thinner than the rest of what you've been applying.
Yes, these hairs are fine as is, so you don't want them to be as thick as the rest because then they're going to look chunky. We don't want that chunkiness in the front hairline. Then it looks like she did it herself.
She did her own haircut, but we don't want it to look like she did her own color.
Yes, this is true. She won't let anyone cut her hair. I won't let anyone else cut my hair. She cuts all 3 of us. You guys can see she's got a really good variety of cuts in her pocket.
She's the only person I let touch my hair.
Right on. How long have you guys known each other? Desiree is also a hairdresser, for those of you that are watching, and they work together quite a lot.
I just realized last night it's been since 2015.
Wow. 2015, you guys. We're going on almost 5 years. And that's crazy that it's going to be 2020. What the hell is going on?
Yeah, it'll be my 30th year as a hairdresser.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Congrats.
Thank you. Time to retire.
Not yet. This is the diffuser, if you wanted to see it.
Yeah, so we've got a YS Park sock diffuser, also available at Hairbrain Pro. Great diffuser because it'll fit on any dryer, and it's got a silver mesh to get positive ions onto the hair. And those are also available at Hairbrain Pro, and then you'll use those. Yeah, of course, we have everything.
Amazing. All right, you guys. So we're done with this highlight. I'm not pulling anything through the tips. I think it looks good. I don't see dark holes. I don't think she really needs
So we can
to
see
refresh that.
just the roots into a little bit of the middles and then leaving the ends. So just let us know about processing time and the final steps
right,
and where
guys.
everyone can find your stories.
So you guys can find me at Bianca Color, BIANCACOLOUR, and we're going to be heating this up. So guys, I'm going to check it every 5 minutes. I want to make sure we're not blasting it. I want to make sure it's not too stretchy. I want to make sure it's the color I want. We're going to lift her to about a level 9 or so, and then after that we're going to go ahead, we'll shampoo. We'll use a nice hydrating shampoo, like the number 4 from Olaplex or something, and then we will use number 1 Olaplex with water, dump it on her head, use the treatment, and then we'll go in, tone it on top of that, let it process the given amount of time. We'll put the formula on my Instagram story, we'll tag Desiree so you guys can totally see that. So we won't leave you, in the wind. You guys will know all the facts if you check out my story. And then from there, after we rinse out the toner, we'll finish up with the number 2 and then shampoo conditioner.
Fantastic, Bianca. Thank you so much for sharing with the Hairbrain community. Thanks, guys, for watching. Thanks, Desiree, for being our model. And we look forward to seeing the finished photo. We'll put it up in the feed here. And then you can also check it out on Bianca's page on Instagram, Bianca Color. Peace out, guys. I was behind the camera today, so I didn't get a lot of FaceTime, but I love you all, and I'll see you real soon. Peace out.